This is about the hardest thing that I have ever done, but it's also about the insights that I gathered along the way, and that when I look at my life and everything that I'm really happy about, it's things that have come as a result of doing hard things that I didn't need to do, that I didn't want to do a lot of the time, but I did do. So the intention here is to share the insights from the hardest thing that I ever did. I believe that there's a strong correlation between people that are willing to do hard things and how happy a person is in life. Recently, I did one of the most difficult things I've ever done, which you could say is stupid, and that was to run an ultramarathon. And this isn't really about running an ultramarathon, but it's about how doing hard things leads to a happier, more fulfilling life. It leads to health, wealth, prosperity. It leads to better relationships. And a lot of what I have to say here is probably going to trigger some people, but bear with me, stick with me till the end, because I think I might be able to persuade you. This might be an unpopular opinion, but I would say that if you are unfulfilled in your life probably isn't hard enough. I know that life is hard, life's difficult, the economy sucks, traffic's bad, but that's all gonna happen, and there's not much we can do about that. But what we can do is we can work on our inner world to better navigate the outer world. And the way that we do this is by doing hard things. We get stronger relationships by having hard conversations that we don't wanna have. We have a healthy body and mind and spirit by doing things we don't want to do. We got to eat healthy food. We got to exercise even when we don't want to. We focus on, the less sexy aspects of being a human. That's what allows us to have sustained joy and happiness and fulfillment and success in life. It's by doing the hard things even when you don't have to. Because you could go through your whole life without doing any hard thing. You could do the easy thing time and time again. And it's when we sprinkle in challenges like an ultramarathon in my case, that we start to access different potentials that life has to offer. The easy thing is always going to be there, but it's probably not allowing you to be the highest version of you, to live that most fulfilling version of your life.
The beauty is that everybody gets it. They all understand the pain, and so everyone's suffering together. And that's why finding a tribe that are willing to suffer for things will help you get through challenging moments in life.
Now, doing hard things by yourself is great, but doing hard things with other people is next level. And this is where we get on to talking about what I call positive peer pressure. This is a good time to mention that I am offering a 4-week one-on-one mentorship program with aspiring creatives, entrepreneurs that are looking to get more into content creation, helping people to find a way to navigate the content creation space, to figure out a framework that works for you, that allows you and supports you in doing the hard thing that is, showing up and being authentic and sharing your gifts and marketing your products or services, or maybe you just have insights you want to share. So there'll be a link in the description to submit your interest for that. I sent it to my newsletter community earlier today, so they got early access, but there hopefully might still be some spaces available. So check the link below, and you may as well sign up to the newsletter while you're there so that you don't miss out on stuff in the future. All right, so positive peer pressure. When I was doing this ultramarathon, there's what's called stewards along the way, so they kind of help you cross the road or whatever. And they cheer you on, right? So now, if you've ever done an ultramarathon or any kind of race, you know that a lot of people are suffering throughout the duration of it. And oftentimes in the normal world, you might look at someone who's in pain and be like, oh, stop it, or oh, are you okay? In an ultramarathon, since all of these people around are in the world of running and they understand what it's like, they don't see someone in pain and be like, oh, stop, you're in pain. Don't do anything more. No. They cheer you on. They tell you you can do it, because they are understanding that pain and hardship is part of the journey to glory, to victory. And this isn't intended to be egotistical advice, but people that are doing hard things understand what is required. You know you need to dig deep if you've done something hard before. So by surrounding yourself with other people with similar goals, I surround myself with creatives, I surround myself with entrepreneurs, because when I'm having a hard time, they don't tell me, oh yeah, you should give up and get a 9-to-5. They tell me, good, you're doing great. You're in a lull right now, and that's normal. You don't have any ideas? Oh, cool. I didn't have any ideas last week. And then a few days later, I made more money than I ever made. Stuff like this. You want it to be normal to be in discomfort and to be in pain, because that is where growth comes from. So if you have people around you that are trying to shift you out of that rather than support you in that, then you probably aren't going to achieve that life that you want for yourself. Ultimately, we are a product of our environment. So if we're around people that know the possibility, that know the potential within you, those are the people that are going to allow you to really step into that most powerful version of yourself. And that's the problem. We don't persist through the pain. We don't persist through that punishment. I hate to say it, but starting a business is hard. Starting a YouTube channel is hard. And it doesn't really get easier, but what does get easier is your ability to navigate those hardships, to navigate that pain, discomfort, and to persist in whatever way is needed. Sometimes in business, I'll spend a lot of time doing something and I won't make any money. The deal falls through or it just doesn't work. But that doesn't mean I just stop and take the easy option. Because yeah, the easy option, it might meet some of my needs, but I know what I want in life. And so that's why I've chosen this path. And of course, if you want to do, things that don't challenge you as much, that's fine. I just don't think that many people like that are watching a video like this.
You can solve any big problem or a problem that seems big by slowing down. Because I was just running there and it was really tough. And then I just started walking. Now I'm like, oh, this is a lot more manageable.
Slowing down makes any difficult task a lot more manageable. It is terrifying to look at a 50-kilometer race at kilometer 1 when you're already feeling a bit of pain in your leg and to think, oh, how could I ever do that? Well, the beauty is you don't need to run 50 kilometers right now. Over the next, 7 hours, yeah, I needed to run 50 kilometers. However, in that moment, all I need to do was one step. So when we're overwhelmed by a task, when we don't know where to start with our content creation journey, when we don't know what way to structure our business, when we don't know how we're ever going to have the energy and discipline to run that far, forget about all of that. Zoom in. What's the thing that completes a 50K race? It's running 1 kilometer 50 times. Okay, how do we run 1 kilometer 50 times? Well, we have to take a bunch of steps, right? And so when we've taken enough steps, we've achieved 1 kilometer. That's a lot more manageable of a goal. When it comes to making a YouTube channel, in order to make this video, I needed to contemplate what was the title going to be, what was the thumbnail, what was the overall theme. Then I needed to come out here and then I needed to set up the camera and try and arrange it in a way that I'm happy with. Now, am I super happy with everything that's going on here? No, I'm not happy about the clouds in the sky. But what can I do? It's Ireland, this is our summer. It is what it is. I'm here, I'm doing my best, I'm taking it one step at a time. I don't know how this video will perform. I don't know if it's gonna look nice. I don't need to worry about that right now. All I need to worry about is doing my best to work with what I have, okay? So I've got this tree here, it makes it look kind of nice. I've got this outfit, which I think is kind of nice. I've got this microphone, which hopefully is picking up nice audio. When we get overwhelmed by the end destination, it's hard to do anything. You don't need to do things fast. In fact, I would argue that the slower you do things, the faster you do things. And that's a paradox, because in the moment it's like, right, I gotta get from A to B, so I'll just go as fast as possible. But if you actually look at what you're doing to get there, it's not the most efficient use of your energy. If you're trying to sprint from A to B, you're gonna blow your load too soon, so to speak. And I understand why we do that, because it's like, oh, it feels good, it's like, I think I'm making progress faster. But then you get to the point where like you're depleted, you burn out. You can't continue giving that energy because you've used it all up. So rather than letting it all out at once, what we can do is we can slowly let it out. We slowly do a bit here, a bit there. Because the faster we try to do anything, the more uncomfortable it is. If you get into cold water, the faster you try to, make that time go, the harder it is. You start to, breathe shallow and then you find no peace. Whereas if you just say, I'm in here and I'm gonna be here for a bit, and then you start breathing slowly and then you start to regulate and then you start to find peace and calm and tranquility. And by the end of it, you spend a lot more time in the cold to get all of those positive effects of being in the cold than the person who got in and was trying to get out as fast as possible. So surrender to the process. Surrender to the suck involved in achieving your goals. I surrendered to the suck of 50 plus kilometers. We've all been there. We've blown our load too soon and then you're just left feeling depleted. Whereas if you go the slow and steady route, yeah, you could say it's boring, But if you push past that boredom, weird stuff starts to happen. The thing is, we go through life thinking like, oh, this sucks, because you try it for 5 minutes and you're like, I don't want to do it anymore. But you haven't realized that in 10 minutes, this will be a different experience. What you're experiencing now, yeah, it's hard, it's difficult. But if you persist, the experience changes.
Just coming up on 10 kilometers in, and here's a thought. The time that I most want to quit is at the beginning.
In a run, you can be in pain for the first 5K, but then at 10K, for some reason, I don't know why, weird stuff happens and your body just feels really good and you feel like you can conquer the world. And then at 20K, something else happens, and at 30K, your knee hurts, and then at 40K, someone comes along and gives you painkillers, and it helps you do the last 10K. Shout out to my friend Francis in London, who gave me painkillers. When you start the journey, it all seems impossible, but it's not going to be like that forever.
46 kilometers now. It's lovely out here.
There's going to be people that come and help you and support you. You're going to get ideas, you're going to get inspiration, you're going to grow and strengthen, and you're going to become more confident, and you're going to trust your ability to do things because you started doing things.
So I'm coming up at about 40 kilometers now, and it's difficult. But I've done this distance before. I know I can break through that ceiling because if I could do that, I could do more. And the same with any success I've had in my creative endeavors. If I can get 100 views on a video or streams on a song, then I can get 200, and then I can get 1,000. So the more evidence that I can do things that I acquire by doing things and trying and doing the difficult things, the more likely I am to achieve more and break through that ceiling every time.
And when you find yourself in that situation where you just don't know what to do and you think you're about to implode, just hang on a little bit longer, because that's the realm of uncertainty, and uncertainty is where the magic happens.
We're almost back at the start line now.
Persist, see what's in there, poke around, and I promise you that you will find great bounty on the other side. And I know that there's probably going to be people leaving comments saying that, oh, you shouldn't need to do hard things to live a happy life. You shouldn't put yourself under pressure. That's fine. Look, I'm just here to share what's worked for me. And I've found that there is a strong sense of purpose that comes with overcoming limiting beliefs, that comes with conquering challenges and goals. And that's helped me. So that might help you. If it doesn't help you, ignore me. I'm just a dude who's done some things, and I'm just sharing a bit about that. So to wrap this up, you're never going to feel ready to do that thing that is, difficult. And if you do feel ready, then you're probably not challenging yourself as much as you think you are. Another note is that most people in your life aren't going to support you doing your crazy things. My mom thinks I'm stupid for doing an ultramarathon. People aren't always going to support you in the things you do. And that's fine. They do it from a place of love. They don't quite understand what you are thinking inside. It's often only when we achieve the success that people are like, oh, wow, okay, well done. Sorry, I didn't support you. But you got to be willing to go without the support. And that's where, your positive peer pressure comes in. I want to close this with a quote which was shared to me during this trail. Be naive enough to start, stubborn enough to finish. At the beginning of every big challenge, there's always going to be a voice somewhere saying, you're an idiot, you shouldn't do that. Start anyway. And then when the voices come in saying, oh, I think you should give up, just persist a little bit longer. And glory is yours. Bye.